So what's up, guys? And the reason why this video is out today and not yesterday morning is because I honestly wanted to take a little bit more time to sit away from this game and really get my honest opinion and review of it, because it definitely was an emotional one, even if the Steelers didn't come out on top. But like I just said, I always believe in my team. I always have faith in my team, but as expected, the Kansas City Chiefs went out there and they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it was competitive for about a quarter and a half, except then after that, the Chiefs really started to run away with it. 5 straight touchdowns on 5 consecutive drives for the Kansas City Chiefs is basically what summarized this game. It's the only thing that people are going to remember aside from it being Ben Roethlisberger's last game. Now, the first quarter and a half, I was so proud of what I saw from this football team. This defense came out ready to play. J.J. Watt recovered a fumble and returned it to the end zone for a touchdown, and the Steelers were up 7-0 with about 8 minutes left in the second quarter, I'd say. And, it was definitely not sustainable, but they looked good. Their defense looked good, but there was really just a football game where there were two sides to the story, and that's the offense. The Steelers got 2 turnovers. T.J. Watt, once again, batted the ball up in the air, and it was intercepted by Devin Bush, who, yes, he is still alive. But the Steelers' offense, they had less than 30 total passing yards the entire first half. They had about 2, 3, 4 maximum first downs, 4 at most. I believe they had 3 in the entire first half, and they punted the football 11 times to the Kansas City Chiefs. You can't punt the football 11 times to the Chiefs. You can play great defense, but that defense is going to get tired. That defense is going to feel like, man, our offense isn't doing anything. They're going to feel less enthused. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to get tired naturally, and that's what you saw with this team. And I do believe that it was also the talents of Patrick Mahomes and this Kansas City offense. I'm not discrediting them for what they did, but the Steelers' defense was on the field 24/7 the entire first half, and what they did in the first quarter and a half was remarkable, and I expected them to come out ready to play, and the defense was, but man, they really turned it on. That was probably the best quarter and a half of defense I've seen them play, and that includes the Buffalo Bills game in Week 1, which was also a very great defensive performance. They've had some great defensive performances. They've had some poor ones too, but this defense was on the field so consistently. They were on the field over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So, of course, that's not sustainable. That's not optimal when you play or any team, especially the Kansas City Chiefs. It doesn't matter what the defense does before. They're going to get tired. The Chiefs are going to have that one play that kills you. If you give them the ball 11 times, it's done. Game over. To keep a long story short, that is basically a summary of how the Chiefs won this game. They had the ball so much, our offense didn't do anything. Deontay Johnson, he's had a great year this year. I think you can make the argument he's a top 10 receiver, but his last 2 games, he's had dropolitis, and his fingers have been butterfingers. I mean, sticks of butter just going all around. His hands are only for decoration. He did not play well tonight. Juju, I didn't expect to blow it up, and he didn't, but just the fact that he was on the field made me really proud, because he could have said, I want to come back next year fully healthy, not risk playing this game. Oh, we're favored to lose anyways, I'm just not going to play. I'll just tell him I can't play, because they definitely, if he tells them I don't want to play, then he wouldn't play. But he wanted to go out there and play with Ben one last time. He wanted to go out there and try to help his team win. And he wants to be a Steeler for life. I really think he should be. I mean, he's a little bit overrated at this point. However, I do think he's still very serviceable, and I think at times he can be I think he is a great receiver. But is he top 10, top 15 like some people are going to tell you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wouldn't even say he's top 20. But nevertheless, Juju Smith-Schuster is something that's great for this locker room. He's great for this team, great for the organization. He's great for the city of Pittsburgh in general. And you just want a player like that to stick around. I don't care who it is. I think he'll take another team-friendly deal. So I really think we should try to negotiate with him to get another deal done. But the Steelers, Ben, I'm going to be honest. He looked pretty good against prevent defense, but nevertheless, it's exactly that, prevent defense. So the play calling just was absolutely awful. Matt Canada has just done what he's done time and time again. Inside zone, slant route, slant route, slant route. Stupid plays. The offensive line can't block to save their life. There was one play where Ben literally got the ball, and I swear it wasn't even a full second after he got the ball, and he was already down on the ground, absolutely clobbered. And you just got to feel bad for the man, because yes, Ben is not what he used to be, but I still think he shows flashes of greatness. We wouldn't be here without Ben Roethlisberger. The last 2 games of the season and a lot of games this year, we wouldn't have won with Mason Rudolph, but we did win it with Ben Roethlisberger. So to anyone who said Ben Roethlisberger should have been benched, he was the best option that this team had. And I'm not saying that he's a great option at this point anymore, because he isn't. But he has been, in my opinion, in the fourth quarter, Ben is still a top 5 quarterback in the league, and when it comes to his fourth quarter performances, you can battle me on that one all you want, but I truly believe it. Ben, he did all he could. He done all he possibly could for this organization for 18 years, and he did it this year. He saw his skills were deteriorating. He saw that he still has talent, but not nearly as much as he used to. He saw his body just crashing down around him. He still went out there every single week. He never complained. He was probably injured almost every single game. I mean, the man just so beat up. He's played probably more than 80% of the games he's played with this organization over his career. He's played with at least a minor injury. And it's just so sad, but it's also so honorable that he's done that, because he got this franchise 2 Super Bowls, 3 rings, and he didn't look too good on Sunday night. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a Dan Marino 62-7 thing or anything like that. He still showed fight. This team always shows fight. Even when they're down, the game's all hope is lost. The game is basically over. The Pittsburgh Steelers still go out there, and they still perform like it's a 1-point game, and it's a game-winning drive. And it doesn't matter how far they're down. That is something that you do like to see. It sucks that they lost. It sucks that it's Ben's last game. But at the end of the day, I can't say that I'm sad. I mean, I did not approach this like a normal playoff run. I didn't approach this game as if it were the Steelers are going to go to the Super Bowl and anything else is a failure. That would be the 2017 mentality, right? That would be the 2017, 2016, 2015, maybe even 2014 mentality, you know? That's the mentality then. The mentality last year, some might have had that. I personally was in the middle. However, this year, we should not have been there, right? We had an 8% chance to be there going into last week, and we played. And I didn't care if we went out. I mean, I would have been sucked, but I didn't care if we went out there and we lost 56-0. Just the fact that Ben Roethlisberger got to play in a playoff environment one more time. We got to see him play one more game, and we knew there was most likely going to be his last game. But just the fact that we got to saw him play, and the fact that the way he led this team there, game-winning drive against Baltimore in the fourth quarter, so many third down and long and fourth down conversions in that drive. So many games this year the Steelers should not have won. They had no business winning those football games. They're not better than the Bills, the Titans, the Ravens at full strength. And you can even argue they're not better than the Browns. But believe it or not, the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to win those games, and it's something it's definitely worth something. Right, this organization, they count them out at 1-3. They said they could not get it done. The Steelers were not going to make the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin have never had a losing season. Ben has played for 18 years. Never a losing season. Even the years where he's been injured for the majority of the year, like 2019. Never a losing season. We were always at least a 500 team. And yes, I can understand some of those seasons ended in a disappointing fashion, you know, like 2017. But at the end of the day, he made this franchise a winning organization again. They started to kind of revive themselves with Tommy Maddox. Cordell Stewart did pretty solid. Freaking Neil O'Donnell, you know, he was okay, but, you know, we'll never right. I mean, I hope he does good. I hope his life's going well for him, obviously, but just in terms of what he did in Super Bowl 30, that was bad. But nevertheless, we never had true sustainable success since the days of the 70s, since the 70s Steelers, and Ben brought that back. He brought back that culture. And yes, the standard is a standard, sometimes can be referred to as, oh, we're going to overperform and then underperform, which it sucks to be underperforming. It's becoming a systemic issue as well. But at the end of the day, no matter how much sometimes we might say, what the heck's Tomlin doing, what the heck is Ben doing, we have to appreciate what he did for this franchise, and even this year, because this is one of, if not the worst rosters that Ben Roethlisberger's played with, definitely the worst offensive line, and he took them to the playoffs. They counted them out. They said he couldn't do it. They said he was washed, but he won, and he went to the playoffs. He lost, but at the end of the day, I still think this is one of the best send-offs you could ever have. Just the fact that he even got there is like a movie. Just the fact that he got to play one more time, I appreciate. So it sucks that they lost, but at the end of the day, I can't be mad about it, because I got to see him play one more time when there was a good chance I couldn't have. And when he's been my quarterback ever since I started watching this team, when Ben Roethlisberger has been the quarterback for this organization since before I was even alive, and considering the fact that he's won 2 Super Bowls, taken us to 3, and we've never had a losing season, and he's done so much for this city, so much for this organization, and you can say whatever you want about the off-the-field stuff. Have your opinions. You're entitled to your opinions. But he truly does. He looks like a person who's completely new. Whether it's a fake face or not, that's your interpretation. But at least from how he displays himself to the public, he looks like a new person. He kind of lays low now at this point. And I really hope, because he'll be in the Hall of Fame in 5 years, I really hope that somehow I can get my way to Canton, Ohio that day so I can see him get accepted into the Hall of Fame. I really hope I can do that. because I feel like what he's done for this organization and for me personally, in the stance of a football player, is something that I just truly cannot describe. I can't put into words how much this man has meant to me in terms of what he's done for my football team. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, they did lose, but it's okay. I mean, it sucks. Obviously, you wish they go to the Super Bowl and win it. It's storybook ending, but knew that probably wasn't going to happen, and it didn't. Those Chiefs, congratulations to them. They're definitely a Super Bowl contender, as they should be. Good luck to them next week when they play at home in Buffalo. Excuse me, at home against Buffalo. But the Steelers, yeah, their offense didn't look that great. The offensive line sucks. The offensive line's terrible. The play calling is awful. Except I heard today, Mike Tomlin, the way it sounds is they're going to bring back Matt Canada for another year. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but they need to change things with him. He needs to change that playbook, okay? And maybe it'll help that Ben's gone, because some people say he holds back the playbook, which he might to a certain extent. But it's still, some of the blame has to go on Canada. So I really hope he can get things done, get it changed. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But if things don't change next year at the play calling, he's gone. He's got to be out. I hate calling for people's jobs. He's got to get out of here. Right? He just looks like Randy Fichtner 2.0 so far. The defense, they played solid, but like I said, they got tired, and that doesn't mean that they should go out there and give up 5 straight touchdowns to Patrick Mahomes. And yes, it is the Chiefs, and yes, it is at Arrowhead, but 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, that's a killer against any team. You cannot do that. Doesn't matter how long you're on the field for, you got to stop them, right? There's no excuse for Travis Kelce being wide open 40 yards down the field whenever it's 3rd and 20. That's the area of the field that you should be covering. 20 yards, put a safety there. The safety runs back. I don't know where Edmonds was on that play, but nevertheless, I can't be mad at what this team's done. And it's going to be weird not seeing Ben at quarterback, and it is time. But I wonder what they're going to do. Reports say they're probably not going to go out and try to get a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, anyone like that. So they could try to trade up in the draft, or maybe someone falls to him like a Kenny Pickett. They're probably going to keep Rudolph and Haskins around. I hope that they don't have a competition, because I'm scared that Mason Rudolph would. And even though I don't think Dwayne Haskins would do anything spectacular, we haven't seen what he truly could do. So even if he starts next year, I will find that acceptable, right? It wouldn't be the best option. I would be scared for what could happen, but we haven't seen what he could do. So I understand giving him that chance. We could get a quarterback like Mariota or somebody like that, but it's clear we're not going to go for any superstar quarterback who's aging, or a superstar quarterback in general. And I do think that it'd be nice to have Aaron Rodgers, obviously, and people like that, but they're not the long-term solution. So at the end of the day, I completely agree with the stance that they're taking on that. If we get Rodgers, awesome. I'm definitely not going to complain about getting Aaron Rodgers, but I do not see that happening. People said this was a rebuild year for the Steelers. It wasn't. If this is a rebuild year for the Steelers, then what was it for all these other organizations? If this is considered a rebuild year for the Steelers, what isn't a rebuild year? Right? And that culture has been built by Ben Roethlisberger. And they'll say the same thing next year. Next year's a rebuild year. And technically, it could be, because there's going to be a new quarterback. But how? We have TJ Watt. We have Minkah Fitzpatrick. We have Pat Fryermuth, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson. We have, hopefully, Juju. We're going to have Claypool again. We have a lot. We have talent on our team that is playoff caliber. We just need to bolster that offensive line, boost it up, get some players. Hopefully, we can try to get a veteran like Teron Armstead, get some rookies in the draft. I'm really intrigued by the offensive lineman for the Iowa Hawkeyes. I really hope the Steelers can find a way to get him if they don't get a quarterback in the first round. But we just need offensive linemen. We need better play calling, and the quarterback, I think even if you put Mason Rudolph in this, I think they're still a 7-win team-ish, because the Steelers, they always seem to overperform expectations when they're low, right? They did last year, they did this year, and I think they're going to do it again, right? I won't be surprised if this team gets in the playoffs again next year. I also won't be surprised if they win 7 or 8 games. But nevertheless, it's an exciting new chapter, and it sucks to see Ben go. I know it's time. And it definitely is, but it sucks to see him go. All the pain he's endured for this organization, all of the just great things he's brought me emotionally and to this team and to all the fans and to the city. Thank you. All right, thank you. Because not many franchises are lucky enough to have one quarterback play for them for 5 years, let alone 18, right? Not many franchises. His career could have ended in 2006 from the motorcycle crash. It could have ended if he was found guilty on some of the things that he is and was accused of doing. but he's still here. He was still there, right? He was blessed with the ability to throw a football, and he did it for 18 years for the team that I love. So thank you so much, Ben. You'll always, always be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Go Steelers.